he's leaving it too far into the zone, he's going to get crushed.
Yeah, and I mean the numbers, like the walk and strikeouts, are there to support it because he's got a good amount of strikeouts.
Yeah, 5 strikeouts in 3 innings is great.
Yeah, and like 49 over 41 is good, but he also has 26 walks.
Yeah,
And
yes. God, is it 26 walks in 41 innings?
He has 26 walks in 41.2 innings.
Lance.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think some people would hear that and attribute it to, well, this is what you have when you have a player now in his 30s who took 2 years off because he's not healthy and he's had injury problems. But let's be honest here. Walks have always been an issue of Lance McCullers.
Yes.
So this is not something to where you could say with a hopeful optimism that, well, once he rounds himself into shape, which frankly he should already be by now, he's been back for like 7-8 starts, that he would then eliminate these walks and be more efficient. One, he's never been that hitter or that pitcher. And two, if he can't rely on his fastball and sinker to get him ahead in counts, I don't know how the walk issue would ever go away.
I don't see how it will go away.
And then if you can't throw a fastball or your sinker.
Yeah, and then the other thing is even back in the day, like you said, he's always had issues with walks, but his stuff was more effective back in the day to where he could get himself out of jams.
Yeah, his two-seamer is nasty.
He's not able to do that right now. And so these men that are in the past that he would walk that would get left on base, they are now scoring, which is why his ERA is terrible.
Yeah, it's really going to be a roller coaster with Lance. Like on the Killer Bees, we used to play the roller coaster. I think it's by Ohio Players for Fromber, because the Fromber, especially I think it was 2023, was like, man, you never knew start to start which Fromber. Now, each side of that Fromber has been amazing, but I think it was specifically the 2023 season where he was really up and down. But really, that's the case for Lance because he had the 6 innings 1 earned run against the Dodgers not that long ago. His start prior to this one. But you look, I think you're going to have that up and down. So he was awful last night against the Rangers. Killed the Dodgers, 6 innings, 1 earned run. Start before the Dodgers, gives up 8 earned runs over 3 1/3 to the Cubs.
3 home runs.
3 home runs.
And 4 walks.
If you're if you're a pitcher who can't throw his fastball and you can't throw strikes consistently, you're never going to be a consistent pitcher. This is going to be what we're going to have to live with Lance. One day he's great, next day he's awful.
Yeah, and it's coming at the worst possible.
When they need him to pick him up because of all the injuries.
And it's like there's also kind of like a little glimpse of hope. I think most of us were on board with like, okay, if we can just get a decent Lance, like just a Lance that's worthy of like a 3 or 4 spot in the roster, we'll live with that. And then he had that little stretch of 3 or 4 games where we're like, oh, okay, like maybe a little version of the old Lance is back. And then boom.
Yeah.
Right back to trash.
Like I think if we're not to say you are, but if we're hoping for consistency from Lance, we're going to be left wanting. Like he's either going to look like a number 2 starter or he's going to look like someone who should retire. And there's really not going to be a whole lot of in between. Like
if he's starter,
sorry,
a 2 starter.
I think 6 innings 1 earned run. Like he's
if he could do
that's what I'm saying. Like the ups and downs. I can't remember the opponents, but he had a couple of games this season where like one start he was 9 strikeouts. There was another performance where he was like 12 strikeouts.
So against the A's, 6 innings, 3 runs, 12 strikeouts.
Yeah,
great
that's
game.
A number 2 starter.
Against the Dodgers, 1 run in 6 innings.
That's a number 2
4
starter.
strikeouts. Great game. But
and then what happened against the Reds and the Cubs and last night against the Rangers?
And it's not like he's going 6 innings in those games.
No.
I mean, he's only had 3 games this year of 6 innings or more.
And he's pitched what, 7-8 games?
He has pitched 9 games.
9 games? Okay.
The rest of them have been like 3 innings.
3 out of 9?
That's not a great ratio. That's not going to do it, bro.
No, that ain't going to cut it.
Not going to do it.
And that's the thing. Like I think these last 3 games are a perfect picture of what Lance McCullers is at this stage of his career and what we can expect him to be the rest of the year. Is that he's a guy whose slider and curve are great, and when he can land it, when he can keep it low in the zone, and when he doesn't have to use his fastball and sinker that much, he can be very effective, get ground ball outs, strike guys out, and get you 5 innings of great baseball. But if he can't do those things I just said, if he's walking batters, he's leaving the curve and the slider up, and he's having to throw the fastballs and sinkers and pitchers counts in hitters counts because he's falling behind, you're going to get results like you did yesterday and against the Cubs and against the Reds.
Might I give you the breakdown of home and away splits?
Oh, I
to
mean,
to
9
pr-
starts is a small sample size, but
to
please.
prove that he should just pitch on the road.
Oh,
So
okay.
at home, he is 6 games. He is 0-4 with an 11.86 ERA, 29,
11?
29 earned runs in 22 innings.
Good
On the
lord.
road, 4 games pitched. He is 2-0 with a .46 ERA and
Point four
and
six.
only 1 earned run in 19 innings.
Okay. I
Batting
think now
average
we're
against
going to talk about home road splits in a minute with someone else. But that, look, I know it's a 9-game sample size, but that is
it's
one of the more dramatic home
crazy.
road splits I've ever seen. .46 at home,
Yeah.
11 on the road.
Batting average at home against is 313. Batting average against him on the road 181. Like by far the most lopsided
Oh,
split.
I said it reverse. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
better on the road than at home because I was like, wait, last night was the home. So was the Cubs. So was the Reds. But yeah.
exponentially better on the road.
Okay. Lance McCullers Jr., you heard it here first. He's a road only
Road
starter.
only.
Johnny Belmer, you join us in that campaign to ask for Lance to be a road only starter? Can we
Hell, if that's what works, I'm down. You know?
I don't think it's actually that. It is
no,
fun.
but if we were able to actually put a pin on that and like figure that out, and they wanted to try that, I'm good for it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So with Lance, we heard one of the home runs we heard coming in from he who shall not be named was against Adolis Garcia, who took I think it was a changeup that got left up and just got crushed out to dead center. Um, Adolis Garcia, you heard it in the clip, 19 home runs in his career at Minute Maid, now Daikin Park. Just been an absolute Astros killers. And that is one of our big questions of the day. We will talk about it throughout the show. And then at 1:15, we will give you our full list. But who are the biggest Houston sports killers that we've seen in our lifetime? Guys that just every time they face your team, you're like, oh my God, here we go again. This guy is just going to kill us. So I'll give out one name here in addition to Adolis Garcia. And I'll be interested to see the names that you guys have in mind as well. And if you want to call us or give us a text on the HRP listener line with yours, you can do that at 713-780-3776. But besides Adolis Garcia, first name that came to mind for me, and this may be a little bit of recency bias, although it's not just recent, it also goes back to like 2014, 2015. It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry.
Oh, we're doing all sports.
Yeah. Not just Astros. Not just Houston sports killers. So not just Astros, Rockets, Texans. If you want to throw in college sports, that's fine too.
Well, I think we have to. If we can go way back, we obviously have to throw in Albert Pujols.
Yeah, Albert Pujols.
I mean, he made his living off of the Astros.
I had a different teammate in mind of his, because Albert Pujols, yes, but part of that
with St. Louis or with the Angels.
St. Louis. Part of that, and maybe you can make the same argument with Curry, but like for me with Albert Pujols now, the home run against Brad Lidge still lives rent free in my mind all these years later. But it felt like, well, Pujols does it against everybody. Is he like really a Houston sports
Can I take
killer?
a gander at this player?
Please, gander away.
Jim Edmonds.
Yes, sir.
Ah!
Yes, sir. If you want to, we could pull up the stats during the break. But my God, that dude killed you. And I don't know if you remember the home run he hit off of Dan the Missile Maselli in 2004. I think landed yesterday. That ball. Oh my God! I think it was Game 6 when the Astros had to go. They went up, if you remember, in that series, 2004 NLCS. They went up 3-2 after Jeff Kent walked it off in Game 5. Had to go back to St. Louis for 6 and 7. Lost both, but they had to go bullpen game because I think that was the year that Clemens was hurt, or maybe it was it was the year Pettit was hurt. Pettit was hurt, so they had to go. They went bullpen game in Game 6, and it was still competitive, obviously deep into the game. But then Jim Edmonds walked it off with just a absolute moonshot. So. We'll speak it on yours. Again, if you have a thought on who are the biggest Houston sports killers that you've seen against the Rockets, Astros, Texans, any other Houston sports team you want to throw in, give us a call or a text on the HRP listener line, 713-780-3776. When we come back, let's talk about the debut of Bryce Matthews, a Toscasita's own Houston kid. And also we got to talk about some of the guys potentially coming back from the injury list soon for the Astros, and another gaffe with the Astros medical staff, this time involving Jake Myers. That and more when the bullpen returns. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. I'm Brian McDonald, joined by Cam Smith and John Belmer here today on the Bullpen. Here with you until 2 o'clock. And coming up on the show, Johnny, Cam, I've got a very important decision today for my college football 26 dynasty future. Which team will I coach next in the online dynasty that involves Dell, Sean Mapes, Joe George, and Josh Beard? We'll find out at the end of this hour when I, on this show live, make my head coaching decision. And then after that, 1:30, of course, Mount Rushmore +1. But right now,
I'm so excited for you.
I know it's going to be a big moment.
This is a big choice for your career.
It's a big moment.
Yeah.
I got to decide where I'm taking my talents to for the next 4 to 5 years until I get a better offer. But anyway, that's how the way college football goes. But continuing on right now in this segment with who are the biggest Houston sports killers of all time? We've already got a couple of texts into the HRP listen line. Give us yours, or you can call us 713-780-3776. So first one from 2101, and this is a guy I had on my list. So I like where this guy's head's at. This guy has murdered the Texans, but from 2101, Derrick Henry has almost 1,600 yards rushing against the Texans in 15 games, plus 13 touchdowns. So yeah, I would say he has the Texans number. I mean, it's 15 games. So one game, actually 2 games less now than a full season. 1,600 yards and 13 touchdowns. And now some of those were when the Texans were obviously pretty bad during the Lovie Smith and the David Coley era, but there were, I'm pretty sure Derrick Henry has multiple 200-yard games against the Texans.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just brutalized
the Texans
them.
were definitely not upset when he left the division.
No.
And you know who used to kill them too back in the day? Another Titans running back, Chris Johnson.
Yeah, CJ2K.
Shorter career, but
definitely shorter career than Derrick Henry, who's seemingly ageless. Well, maybe not as ageless as Frank Gore, but pretty ageless.
Well, when you spend $185,000 on your body in the offseason,
yeah, his
no
regimen
wonder
is
he's
pretty
like the
crazy.
Methuselah of running backs.
Maybe I should spend a fraction of that. Whatever the radio equivalent of 81,000
percentage of salary. Yeah,
he spends more on his body than I make in a year. Ouch. Okay, moving on. So before I get depressed, from 6100. He says Pittsburgh was always Oilers killers. So that is definitely Oilers more than Texans, as the texter pointed out. But yeah, I mean, back-to-back years. We weren't alive then, but in the 70s, the Steelers knocked the Oilers out. I don't know if it was 2 years in a row, but it was definitely twice in the AFC Championship game, most famously with the game where Mike Renfro caught a pass but was ruled out of bounds, and back then there wasn't a replay. So Steelers definitely always had the Oilers number back in the day. I didn't think of that one, but that is a good one to throw in there. Johnny, you said during the break you had one pop to your head. What stands out to you as far as a Houston sports killer, like Adolis Garcia?
Yeah, I did. It did pop. One immediately goes to my head. It's a Texans killer here, but Derrick Henry, I think, is the biggest Texans killer. Number 2 on that list. Popped in my head immediately. T.Y. Hilton.
He's on my list.
Immediately.
Yes, he's in my.
but of course,
If I had to make a Mount Rushmore +1 of this list, he'd be on there. Yeah, especially not only did he murder you, like his stats against the Texans are insane, but then he hit you with the damn clown mask.
He talked so much trash and then backed it up
every single time.
that makes it twice as
Honestly, I
worse.
respect it. I'm mad, but I respect it. To come into the Texans' house wearing a clown mask and then go off on the Texans, like I got game respect game. Like I gotta respect it.
Silent clap.
See, I just namaste. Like I begrudgingly respect your work, sir. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I begrudgingly respect it. All right, we'll get into more of those, and it looks like we might have a phone call coming in on that here in a second. But let's get back to the Astros for a minute or two. I mentioned you were mentioning the home road splits for Lance McCullers Jr. this year, which were drastic. I believe you said the home ERA was over 11, the road ERA was below 1.
Yep.
Bryce Matthews made his debut, a Toscasita kid. I believe the first ever kid to come up through I forget what they call it, the Astros academy. I forget the technical name of it. It might just be Houston Astros Academy, but he was an academy member through high school, went to Nebraska, got drafted by the Astros in the first round, called up yesterday. So
Meant to be.
Really cool story. Really cool story. But I think the pushback on was he ready kind of showed up last night. Like he's in AAA, he's the Astros' #1 prospect. So, and the Astros have so many injuries that I really feel they had no other choice. But like you look at his home road splits, drastic this year in Sugarland, where he plays in the PCL as other than Sugarland. But when you go on the road to places like Reno and Vegas and Salt Lake and Sacramento, like a lot of these places are just absolute launching pads, and the numbers show up for Bryce Matthews. So his home splits this year, when playing in Sugarland, he's hitting 205 with an OPS of 580. He's Jose Abreu. Actually,
He's Christian Walker.
Actually, he's a little bit. Yeah, he's more Christian Walker. That's actually better. That's better than Jose Abreu. He's bad Christian Walker. So 205, 580 OPS at home. Away, he's hitting 333 with 1,077 OPS. He's Barry Bonds. Like
there's a reason why the PCL always has outrageous home run numbers.
I get that the Astros kind of had no choice because with the Jake Myers injury and the Jeremy Pena injury, like they were kind of running out of options to like you need Altuve at second base unless Dubon's kind of forced into more center field roles now, although Taylor Trammell's been playing that as well. But you're running out of options at some of your positions. So I get, hey, he's your #1 prospect. He's deservedly up at the AAA level. I understand giving him a shot, but man, I would have liked to see those home road splits close a little bit, get a little bit closer to even before I was going to call him up, because that home split. Oof. I mean, did you have any kind of, oh man, why are they calling him up now, or what would you think of the call up?
I mean, I understood why, but to the point, I definitely don't think he's ready, and I think you could almost argue that there's more pressure on him at this moment than there was Cam Smith going into the start of the season.
That's a bold take.
Only because Bryce Matthews is in the situation where the Astros they've taken over the division lead, they're on a roll, but now they're getting hit with injuries and they're going into the All-Star break. And so it's almost like, hey, I'm being thrown into this to keep this team afloat. Whereas with Cam Smith, it was like he's a rookie, he played 5 minor league games. Let's see what we can get out of him. So I mean, I obviously, like, I'm not going to say that there is more pressure. I just feel like you can maybe make that argument a little bit for him.
No, that's an interesting point. And William, I just saw you hung up. Sorry about that. If you want to call back in, we will get to you as soon as you get back in. But if you have thoughts on who are the biggest Houston sports killers of all time, hit us up on the text line or the call-in line, HRP listener line, either way, 713-780-3776. We will take that phone call. But as you're talking that out, Cam, I think I agree with you, because not only is there a need, I think a greater need for Bryce Matthews to come through right now than there was for Cam Smith. Like the Astros need right now, because of all the injuries around them, I think is greater than what their need was when they thought everyone was ready to go at the beginning of the season. But the thing that makes that even more so, that maybe there's more pressure now on Bryce Matthews than Cam Smith, is that we talked ad nauseum about, well, Cam Smith's only played 5 games above the AA level. Less than a year ago at that time, he was playing at Florida State in the college baseball World Series. Like, because of how little experience he had and how quick his path to the majors had been, I think people were willing to give him a pass for a slow start.
And having to switch positions.
And great point, because he'd only played like 5 games in right field during the spring training, because he started off spring training play as a third baseman, which is what he was with, which he played with in the Cubs farm system. But yeah, like, not that people are demanding and expecting Bryce Matthews to come up and crush, but I think the leash was so much greater on Cam because of how far he's rushed. Whereas Bryce Matthews was drafted, I think, 3 years ago, and has had a more normal, path to the big leagues, where people, I think, would say by, okay, year 3, you're in AAA, you're the #1 prospect, like, you should come up and produce. Whereas Cam Smith, like, if he falls apart for the first month, we would have forgiven him.
Yeah, and I think if he had fallen apart, it wouldn't have been so much Cam Smith. It would have been more like, oh, this is more like a bad trade, not like we got like a if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it wouldn't be a reflection necessarily on like Cam Smith is terrible. it would more be that did we get enough for Kyle Tucker?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, I could see that. So, yeah. I mean, look, it was the first game for Bryce Matthews, so not an overreaction by any means, but for your
And I'm sure he had the jitters. He's playing at home.
it looks like
His family's there.
I
It's
mean,
against the Rangers. Like, there's always a little more like added
Sure.
pressure and animosity to that
Yeah.
situation. So
Yeah, he's taking 100 miles an hour down the middle.
See,
He
that's where I
looks
was
so
going.
overmatched.
That's where I was going. Like when I was watching Bryce Matthews
Yeah.
yesterday, Johnny took the word of my. It just looked like the moment was too big for him because, I mean, 0 for 4 is one thing, but 0 for 4 was 3 strikeouts, and 2 of them. No, I'm sorry, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. I believe all 3 were looking, and 2 of them were looking on pitches that were not close. These were not balls dotted on the corner or at the
Yeah.
bottom of the zone, or that was out of the zone and a bad call by the ump. These were. I'm not saying middle, but they were eating up a lot of plate. Like these are no doubt strikes, and he just sat there and looked at them.
it took him till his last at bat, the last swing,
He had a
his
good
last
swing.
at bat
Yeah,
for
took it
him
to
to
the wall.
finally look a little
Yeah.
comfortable.
And maybe that he flew out in that to the the wall and the Crawford boxes in that at bat. So maybe that's a sign, like you said, like okay, like because I mean not that these guys are the same, but remember how Amin Thompson looked early in the Golden State series?
Yeah.
He kind of looked tentative.
Yeah.
Like game 1, game 2, he kind of looked tentative. What happened by the end of the series? Like he was taking
Just
over.
play your game.
Yeah,
Play your
he was
game.
taking over. He was aggressive. And he was playing fantastic. So, I mean, not to say Bryce Matthews is the level of talent of Amin Thompson, but it's just something to look for. Maybe something clicked with that swing last night on his last swing that drove the ball to the Crawford boxes. We want to carry over Astros conversation. We want to get into some of this NFL. Is there anything else?
I'm up for anything.
You're up for anything? All right, we'll figure it out on the fly.
I'm
And
having a great morning.
If you have, you're hungry.
Yeah.
Cam came in because he didn't wake up in time. Like with his food, Johnny, you might not have seen this. Like he walked in with his container of food. And this is at
12:54.
Well, 11:54.
11:54.
Yeah, 12:54 hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, true.
Hey-o. That's how the clock works. But he walks in 11:54 and he looks at me. He's like, "I don't think I have time to eat this." It's like, no, the show starts in 6 minutes. Of course you don't have time to eat this. Is it still out in the bullpen?
It sure is.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll have time to get a couple of bites before we get back. But on the side, we'll continue to take your calls and text on who are the biggest sports killers of all time, and we'll also get into, I don't know, Astros, NFL, whatever floats our fancy. Plus, my college football 26 coaching decision, end of the hour, Mount Rushmore +1. Next hour, Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back in ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you here on a glorious Saturday in the fair city, Houston, here till 2 o'clock. And taking your submissions for who are the biggest sports killers or Houston sports killers of all time. That is one of our big questions of the day. If you have your own thoughts, you want to call us or text us on the HRMP listener line, hit us up 713-780-3776. So a couple of texts have come in since the last segment from 8446. Biggest Astros killer, Astros medical staff.
That's actually a really
what
good
you
one.
did there, 8446.
Winner.
And we will certainly.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. We're going to get. Hey, look at that. Johnny's on the spot. A+ producing work there.
Well done, sir.
We will get into some thoughts on Jake Myers here in a second. I think we'll have to save the NFL for another segment. Another text coming in, actually from 8446 as well. Apparently, he loves us. Driving around town listening to you boys. Great work as usual.
Oh, thank you,
All right,
sir.
pat ourselves on the back. Little pump up. Thank you, 8446. One more text coming through, and this was the guy that kind of spurred the question in my mind, but from 8656, that Garcia a-hole from the Rangers.
Yeah.
His,
Mega Mind looking boy.
Yeah, Adolis. Yes, God, Adolis. I mean, I ain't saying he did something, but I'm saying it looks like he did something.
I wonder if he has to have a special helmet.
Like you think like, okay, so obviously they measure the players' heads, right? I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so like he goes, they end the whatever year and he's wearing whatever size helmet he's wearing. And he comes back next year and just dunk.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, can you
Sir,
help me out?
This is already an extra large.
Like Barry Bonds, like his head grew like Pinocchio after he lied. Another text coming in from 8656. The greatest Houston sports killer of all time has to be the Astros medical staff. So that's multiple submissions for that.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not ideal, Cam. It's not ideal. And let's go ahead and get into that because obviously that's still on the top of people's mind, even though it happened a few days ago. Jake Myers, the latest to be bitten by the Astros medical staff curse. Look, if it was one guy, it's a fluke. Two guys, it's less fluky, but things happen. But we're at the point where it's basically everybody. Like, I mean,
it's not just this year.
No, and that's the thing. Like, and this even goes back multiple regimes. Like, you remember the thing with when Justin Verlander, before he had Tommy John in 2020, like they came out and said, "Oh, he doesn't need Tommy John." Like Chandler Rome had some sort of argument with him. Turns out, he did in fact have Tommy John. A year or two later, remember Dusty didn't know what hand was hurt for Yordan Alvarez. Didn't know what hand was hurt. And those are the more fun ones of the bunch. Christian Javier, remember they told us it was his neck that was hurt? Oh yeah, he has Tommy John.
It
was not his neck. It was Tommy John. What are we talking about?
Not even the same part of the body.
No, the neck bone is connected. I don't know. I guess they're all connected. But then fast forward to last year when I think things kind of really ramped up to where we were all starting to get agitated. And that starts with Kyle Tucker, where if you remember, he fouls the ball off his shin. I think it was like June 1st, June 3rd. It was very early in June. They were so confident that he was going to be back soon that they decided not to put him on the IL. Like he did it like on a Monday or a Tuesday. They thought he could be back by the weekend. And that's what they told us. They told us he could be back by the weekend because it's just a bone bruise. And he'll be fine. Then they have him start running on the treadmill, find out, no, his leg's broken. He misses 3 months. Like he was running on a treadmill with what turned out to be a broken leg.
Which, by the way, friends, if you're nursing a bruised bone and might be somewhat severe, don't run on a treadmill.
Yeah. Even if you have a bone bruise,
you're literally supposed to stay off that foot.
And so I don't know if you're catching on to a theme here where they didn't think anything was wrong, but it turns out it was, and it was more severe. Let's talk about Yordan Alvarez, who he hurts his hand. They tell us he doesn't. They tell us it's so okay that he doesn't even need imaging. He doesn't even need imaging. It's just like a hand contusion, I think, was the initial diagnosis. They get to a point in his quote unquote rehab to where he's taking batting practice like a couple weeks later. Turns out, oh no, his hand was broken. It's only 60% healed. And then they let him ramp up again, and oh no, it still hurt. Like they did this twice with Jordan this year. This year.
And isn't he supposed to be your most valuable
Yes.
and expensive player?
Well, not most expensive,
Not expensive.
but
we
most
did just give him a
valuable.
contract.
Yeah, a couple years ago. Then obviously Jeremy Pena happens. He gets hit in the ball, or he hit the ball. He gets hit in the ribs.
What?
That's a completely different
Hold on.
conversation. Oh, hey now. He gets hit in the ribs with the pitch. Now it was a change up, so at least it wasn't 100 to the ribs, but he gets hit in the pitch with the ribs. Reasonable expectation is he's got an injury. He stays in the game. He stays in the game. He's doing like weightlifting and like and hitting in the cage the next day. Oh, they tell us he's okay. Turns out no, it's a broken rib. It's a broken rib. And then this one they actually got lucky with. But remember Isak, I think it's been dismissed because he turned out to be fine. But remember Isak Paredes pulled his hamstring?
Yes.
And they threw him out 2 games later. Like, we play fantasy football. How many games did Nico Collins miss with a hamstring pull?
4,
5.
Yeah.
Like, they got so lucky. I don't want to give them credit because of how lucky they got with Isak Paredes. Like, they got lucky. He's been fine. But most of the time, hamstrings.
Especially since you traded for him.
Yeah.
You got him in a trade.
Yeah, exactly. Like, minimum, you should go on the 10-day IL with some sort of hamstring. So they get lucky on him. And now the latest, Jake Myers has the foot problem in the finale against the Dodgers last Sunday. They sent him out. Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. They sent him out there against Cleveland, and he gets hurt running out to take his position before the game even begins. Like, he clearly wasn't ready. And all throughout this, now, I know Johnny has, maybe he'll jump in here in a second. He's had some pushback on, I guess, the tone and the direction of the conversation that people have had about the Astros medical staff. Maybe this will answer one of Johnny's questions, because I've come to the point where I don't think it's the Astros medical staff. I mean, one, I can't know what they're seeing on the imaging, so that'd be impossible to prove either way. But what I can say is, because we hear it in the media, not on this station, it doesn't come on this station, but we hear Astros people in the front office, mostly Dana Brown, consistently give out falsely optimistic timelines for players' return to play.
Fair.
To the point where he said on multiple occasions with multiple players, well, it's really not that serious. It's just about pain tolerance. Basically saying, well, if he can't return soon, he's soft, because all he has to do is, grit his teeth through the pain.
Yeah.
And so you hear that from the front office. Now, I'm not saying it necessarily starts with Dana Brown. This may come from Jim Crane. Like, this may be Jim Crane down to Dana Brown. Dana Brown's passing it out to the media. So I'm not necessarily putting all the blame on Dana Brown. But I think without a shadow of doubt, there's been a culture developed within the Astros front office of trying to err on the side of rushing players back before they're fully healthy. And that's proven with Tucker, with Jordan twice, with Jeremy Pena, with Jake Myers. They got lucky in Isak Paredes. We mentioned the things with Javier and Justin Verlander. Like, there is player after player going back 5 years, multiple GMs now, to the point where, I don't know if you remember this, James Click, before he obviously, quote unquote, got fired, like, there were, I think it was midway through the 22 season, was talking about, we need to evaluate our return to play procedures, because he had noticed some of the problems with what we're talking about, and nothing has seemingly happened in the last 3 years following that. I mean, he's now gone, so obviously he couldn't follow up on it. But there's just such a long track record and pattern of this behavior, it's hard to ignore.
It's like they're fixated on because obviously whenever like injuries come about, there's options. They're like, oh, well, it could be this, but it also could be this. And it's like they're fixated on the least likely best case scenario and ignoring like the deeper concern, if that makes sense. It's like they hear from the medical staff like, oh, it could just be a bone bruise and be a couple of days, but it very well could be something worse and need weeks and weeks to fix. And they just get fixated on, oh, it's probably just going to be a bone bruise.
Yeah.
And then that's what they release to the media. And then we hear that it's much, much worse. And it's just like, okay, I would have rather you just been upfront with it and tell me that than get my hopes up and be like, oh, it's just this, and this, when in reality, the doctors told you that good chance it's going to be much worse.
Yeah, because I think if you want to paint the best case scenario for Dana Brown, he's just overly optimistic. Like you could, I think, make the argument more so than it being a culture of rushing players back, that he just gets the information from the medical staff, and he likes to, because he wants to keep the fans happy, give us the most optimistic option. The problem is, though, they seem to always act upon the most optimistic option
when it's never
Yeah,
that.
when,
And
when like because remember how Dusty would operate when, like, whenever a player or the medical staff would say this guy's back or this guy's ready to play, his philosophy always was, okay, you're 100%, take another day.
Yeah.
Like he, to kind of what you were going with, like I don't, so like if it, I mean, how many games extra would be required, we don't know, but the Astros seem to think like if they're told it takes 5 games, they want you back in 4. When I would say, and it seems like you would say, if they tell us 5, give them 6 or 7.
that's
Like
exactly what I would do.
expect it's July, right? I mean,
Especially with
Kyle
the history
Tucker,
of these injuries.
yeah, I mean, Jordan Alvarez was hurt in May. Kyle Tucker last year was hurt in June. Jeremy Pena, I think, was late June. Jake Myers, early July. These are not guys getting hurt in September. It's like, man, we really got to get them back for the playoffs. Like, it's a 162 game season. You're not even at the All-Star break. Jordan, again, was in May 2nd, I think it was. Like, what is the rush? Let them have a couple extra days. Make sure, and for the love of God, do the imaging. That's the other thing with all
and
this.
Also, for the love of God, please don't. If your goal is to rush these players back to appease the fans and to keep butts in seats, I don't think you have to worry about that. Astro fans they're not going to not stop coming to the games, or they're not going to stop coming to the games just because some of these star players are hurt. They're still going to fill the seats because it's still the Astros. Until the Astros give them a reason to think that they are actually going to suck, fans are still going to come and fill those seats up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's why Dana Brown feels like he has to give us the most optimistic possible option for these player returns. But I mean, certainly, I mean, it could be that. And if it is that, it's short sighted because, like you said, like, okay, one guy's down. Well, you still have a lot of other players you like to see. And let's not forget, for the majority of these tickets, they're bought before that news is available because a lot of these are obviously season tickets. People maybe planning a trip or something in the summer have bought these months in advance. So, like, if a player gets hurt, like, it actually isn't hurting you necessarily from selling that ticket because it's already sold.
And if the Astros were like the A's and like a bottom feeder in 15 games under 500, sure, I'd get that. But they're not. They're 6 games ahead in the division. Like, fans are going to keep coming.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We're going to end the Astros conversation there. We'll get to some NFL and my college football 26 coaching decision on the other side. Plus, who are the biggest Houston sports killers of all time? We'll continue to take your calls and texts on that on the HRP listener line. So please weigh in 713-780-3776. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you here on a Saturday. The Bullpen returns on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back into the Bullpen. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you here for about an hour, 13 minutes more. And, of course, we will be back next week as well here on the Bullpen. We will get to, at the end of this segment, my college football 26 dynasty coaching decision. The masses are waiting. Mostly Josh Beard. It's Sean Mapes and the people, not Sean Mapes, but I'm holding everyone up right now.
Oh, so they all have their teams?
No, I have the third pick. So there's like 3 people waiting for me to.
Who are the first 2 teams?
Sean Mapes picked Arkansas State.
Wow.
And then Joe. Now our rule is it has to be 2-star or less, so that's why we're not picking Texas and LSU. But Sean Mapes had the first pick Arkansas State. And then Joe went second and picked Fresno State. So
Ooh, that's
Fresno State was on my list. They were on my list. I think they could be pretty sporty.
They've had some players come out of there.
Yeah, and you got the California recruiting base.
Yeah.
Like Fresno State was definitely on my list. So, but before we get to that, coming up here in 5 minutes or so, I want to talk about some odds that came out here that had a couple of Texans on the list, and that is the Vegas odds for most sacks this regular season. Not surprising, I don't think. The top 4 in order and maybe you can nitpick the order, but the top 4 in order were Aiden Hutchinson, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. Like, I think those are the usual suspects as far as who you would expect them to lead the league in sacks. Now, 3 of those 4 has never led the league in sacks. Only TJ Watt among those 4 players has actually had a sack title, but I don't think anyone would be surprised if one of those 4 took home the sack crown. Now, after that, there's a big group of guys tied for 5th, which includes 2 Texans with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., both with 10-1 odds to win the sack title. I mean, not to state the obvious, but this odds board, I think, really illustrates why the Texans are capable of surpassing their expectations. Like, I think if you were to poll most people, fans and national media alike, they would probably think, okay, Texans, they should expect to win the division. They obviously would make the playoffs and have a puncher's chance, maybe 50-50 to win a first-round playoff game, but in true Texans fashion, probably lose in the division round, which they've done every time they've reached the post, or every time they've made that round, because they've lost in the first round before. But I think what can't be forgotten in the discourse there with the Texans' ability to go further than that is just how game-wrecking this pass rush could be. And the defense overall. I mean, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter are both top 5 in the NFL as far as odds to lead the league in sacks. I mean, these guys could absolutely be people that add up to 25 or more sacks just with those 2. And you got guys like Danico Autry and Mario Edwards, Darrell Taylor they added in the offseason. It had like a 12-sack season 2 years ago. They've got they not only have the top end guys on either side with Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, but they have depth in their pass rush. And they've got guys on the back end with Lassiter and Stingley and Kalen Bullock and now CJ Gardner-Johnson, that even the pass rush doesn't get home immediately. They can lock guys down to give the pass rush more time. So I think, look, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about CJ Stroud overcoming the sophomore slump. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about the running back splits between Mixon and Chubb, who takes the step forward with these new wide receivers with the Iowa State guys and Christian Kirk. But the reason why the Texans have a legit shot to make the conference championship game, or possibly more, is because this pass rush is going to be otherworldly.
Yeah, and what they're building with that D line kind of reminds me of what Philly did.
Oh yeah,
the last couple of years. Where you can never have too many D linemen.
No,
because then you can just, and especially if they're good, you can just rotate them in and out so that they're less risk of getting injury. They have more endurance and more.
They're fresher.
They're fresher,
especially with Will Anderson Jr. Because like the only knock I would have on him is he's had a little bit of a history with ankle injuries.
Yeah, which is why when
you got to keep him fresh. To your point,
when we bring it back to this most sacks in the regular season, I think it's gonna be Myles Garrett, because I think Myles Garrett is damn near gonna have to play every single down which is obviously going to increase the likelihood that he's going to have more sacks.
Unless they're getting blown out, which is what that offense could be. Like if I were to make the counter argument, their offense could be so bad that they're getting blown out and he's pulled out of games in the fourth quarter. Because why would you play Myles Garrett in the fourth quarter of a blowout?
That's true. That's true. But I guess that's kind of why, like with Daniil and Will, I think because the team has the ability to not have to play them every down and rotate them out. I feel like for Will Anderson, like I feel like he's never going to be the guy that leads the league in sacks. I just think he's going to be the guy that's always there around like 12 or 13, just consistently very, very just consistently great, but never the guy at the top of the league.
He never has like the 15 plus spike years, what you're saying? Yeah. So I guess I know that your answer to this question then, but of the two, Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter, who do you think is more likely to win a sack title over the next 2 years?
Oh, Will Anderson.
Okay, so even that being said, you would still pick him over Hunter?
Yeah,
because Hunter has had that spike year.
Yeah.
The year before he came here from Minnesota, I believe he was 16 and a half sacks. So he's had that spike year.
With them playing together, I think Will has a higher ability to take hold that title of sacks.
So your pick amongst this group to win it, though, what you said was Myles Garrett.
I think it's gonna be Myles Garrett.
Yeah. I you think people now this Vegas board is not, but when this conversation, we didn't take quite the same angle in the Killer Bees, but when we were having this conversation about these odds, like I did pick Aiden Hutchinson to win the sack crown, and Jeremy and Joel looked at me like I had two heads. I'm not sure people remember how elite Aiden Hutchinson was before the injury. Like he played, it was right about half a season, maybe a little bit more, and he had 11 sacks. It was like 11 sacks in 10 games or something like that. Like I think now he hasn't shown it. He hasn't had the Myles Garrett year or whatever. Although Myles Garrett's also never led the league in sacks, but Aiden Hutchinson to me is a guy capable of putting in like an 18 sack season.
Oh yeah.
Like I get, like, hey, he was hurt. I get that concern, which was mostly, I think, Joel and Jeremy's thought was the concern of the injury and is he the same guy? But to me, when it's a leg break, it's not the same as ACL, Achilles. Like this is not a soft tissue that you have the fear of re-injuring time and time again. This is not a doctor, but it was a bone break. If it heals correctly, it heals stronger. Like I'm not really worried about him being a lesser, especially since he's still young. Like if he did this at 32, different story. But like he's still a young player. I think it's his third year in the league, maybe fourth year in the league.
Going into his third year,
like I don't really have the fear that he's going to come back a lesser player.
No, I'm with you on that.
All right, it is time, gentlemen. It is time for my college football 26 dynasty coaching decision. The league I'm in with Dell, Sean Mapes, Josh Beard, Joe George, AJ Russ, our part-time producer here, also in the league. We actually let AJ get away with one, so this is supposed to be a 2-star or less dynasty. We asked AJ who he won. He said Florida State.
Of course he did.
And we said, like, no, AJ, this is 2 stars or less. He said Stanford. They're 2.5, but we just like, yeah, whatever. I was like, Joe was like, let's just give it to him. It's like, we don't know. None of us have ever played him before.
Now we can hang it over his head that we beat him with half a star less.
If we beat him, like, hey, man, this is on you.
What a sucker.
So, without further ado, my college football 26 decision. So, look, when I was looking over, a bunch of different schools that I was considering. A couple of ones I could tell you right away that I was looking at that didn't make the cut. I was looking at UTSA, the Roadrunners out of San Antonio.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep. Yeah, they play at the Alamo Dome. I thought that would have been fun, but I'm not going there.
You know what? They've done pretty good.
They've done pretty good. The roster's actually pretty sporty in the game. Jack State, I looked at, I was like, nah. Like they look. Their roster was actually surprisingly state. Jack State, by the way, in Alabama. Not as when you see Jack State, you probably think Jacksonville. You did see. No, it's not Jacksonville. It's in Alabama. A little, the more you know, a little rainbow going across the screen right now. All right. So now for my college football 26 coaching decision. North Texas is a school that has a lot of talent there. The Mean Green. Hold on, Johnny. No, Johnny, I'm not picking North Texas. Look, they've got a lot of talent. I just want to prop them up a little bit, but I'm not picking North Texas. I'm not picking a school from the Dallas, Arlington, Fort Worth area. I know they're not in Dallas proper. I don't think. I don't actually know them that well. But I'm not picking a school from that geometrical area. So, no, it's not North Texas, but they were in consideration. A little too early there on the music there, Johnny.
Have you told them no yet?
Oh, they're finding out now.
Oh,
yeah, this is being
course.
live streamed
Yes.
to the
Wow.
the different schools I was considering. So San Diego State, look, San Diego
Ooh,
State,
the
man,
Aztecs.
the Aztecs, like they got a tradition in, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, like they got a really.
No, that was Fresno State.
You're right.
Yeah. Kawhi Leonard went to San Diego State.
Kawhi Leonard, shut up. Okay, but look, the roster this year is very. Wait, hold on. Johnny's playing the music too early again. Look, San Diego State very talented, Johnny, but I'm not picking San Diego State. That's my bad.
No West Coast.
Yeah, no. Look, I can't afford to pay the California taxes. Are you kidding me? I can't live in San Diego on my salary. No way.
Financially responsible.
Like San Diego State's got, they got an impressive roster, but I can't pay the taxes. So no, sorry, it's not San Diego State. So my college football 26 coaching decision. South Florida, man. That roster. The Bulls, USF, they have an impressive roster. I love their court. Oh, we're playing. See, I know what happened. I'm not picking South Florida. No.
Not South Florida.
No,
either?
sorry, it's not South Florida. Yeah, no. Look, USF, really impressive roster, but I was looking at their schedule because obviously right now I'm taking over. Look, I like your roster, USF, but this year one, the roster may not be good enough to compete against the big boys. And they have both Miami and Florida on the road on their schedule. So I don't want that smoke year one. So South Florida, not my pick. So now, for real, my pick for the college football 26 dynasty, alongside Sean Mapes, Josh Beard, Joe George, Del Olea, and AJ Russ. James Madison. There we go. Hit the fight song, Johnny.
That's crazy.
JMU, baby. James Madison is my pick for the college football 26 dynasty.
Wow.
Recruiting out of Virginia, wearing the purple. I know Virginia's not the best recruiting base, but it's okay. They haven't had me there before.
Like you skipped over California and Florida to go to Virginia.
Damn right.
That's
Virginia's
crazy.
for lovers and Virginia's for me because I'm going to James Madison, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. On the other side of the break, we'll get into something, I don't know, probably the leftovers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back into the bullpen. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you. 1 hour to go, coming up at 1:30. Of course, Mount Rushmore +1. We'll have some fun there. We've got a big question coming up, and we'll dive more to it in that segment. But if you want to weigh in right now as we get into other conversations, hit us up on the HRP listener line. Either call or text at 713-780-3776. And answer the question, who are the biggest sports killers in Houston sports histories? So far, we've had guys like Derrick Henry mentioned. Johnny mentioned T.Y. Hilton, certainly a worthy addition to that list. Adolis Garcia was the reason for the list and his 19 career home runs at Dyken Park. Steph Curry was listed, and we'll get into a few more as we go on to the show. But speaking of the texter line, we got a few more. We actually got an additional predictions and not predictions, and additional picks for the Houston sports killers. Pulling up the text right here. So another vote for Derrick Henry. This one from 2101 in the NFL. I don't know about wins, but Derrick Henry always runs through the Texans.
Literally.
Facts. Like I'm pretty sure he has multiple 200-yard games. Going back to our Astros conversation, this coming in from 7663. Talking about Michael Brantley, and he points out, remember when the Astros signed Michael Brantley after the 22 season?
I do.
When they didn't have a GM for a period of time because Jim Crane thought he knew better.
Mm-hmm.
And they told us all, Bagwell, Reggie Jackson, Dana Brown wasn't hired yet. Jim Crane, like everyone said, oh yeah, Michael Brantley will be ready for the season. When did he debut? It's like August that year. With his chronic shoulder problems. Remember at one point, they sent him out on a road trip when they're in LA to play the Angels. They thought he was going to be, playing, and then it's like, oh no, we got to shut him down. He didn't I don't think he showed up until an August series against the Red Sox. I'm 99% sure it was the August. It might not have been the Red Sox, but yeah. One of the many misses by the Astros medical staff. We got a text in from 0702 about my college football 26 pick, which I will be, if you missed it, I announced it in the last segment. After considering many schools like North Texas, Old Dominion was in the running. San Diego State, North Texas, UTSA, all in the running. But I chose James Madison.
You chose to be a Duke.
I will be donning the purple this year for James Madison from 0702. What? TSU can't get a shot to bring it home to Houston, bro? I don't know if TSU is in the game. I don't think they are. Texas Southern? I don't think they're in the game.
I feel like they would have to.
Would they? Are they in the game?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know
to the levels that the college football goes to in the game now.
To be honest, I didn't get down that far. That's not a slight. That's not a slight. I didn't.
Well,
Johnny's looking at me like that was a slight. Yeah, okay, maybe it was a slight. I didn't get down that far in the ratings. Look, I'm playing against like Josh and these guys are really good at the game. I can't go to the very, very bottom, okay?
But of course.
But James Madison is a 1.5, so I technically did go a little bit lower.
Does Lone Star Community College flag football show up on the game?
No, neither does two of my alma maters, San Jack University and Alvin Community College. Neither one of them in the game, sadly.
How about this Astros killer, Greg Maddux?
Yes, absolutely. I'm
looking at his stats right now.
On my list, I had it written down as just Braves pitching from the 90s.
Tom Glavine, Greg
Tom
Maddux,
Glavine, John Smoltz. Yeah, I just had it written down as
well, they did have our number for a while.
Oh god, yeah, 97, 99, 2001.
Yeah.
I believe the Astros, so all those were best of 5. Obviously the Braves won 9 games. I believe the Astros won 2. I believe it was 3-0, 3-1, 3-1 in those series. It was
dreaded.
It was not competitive. A lot of tipping the cap from Bagwell and Biggio after they struck out a bunch against Braves pitching. All right, to our leftover segment. Did you guys see, and there's a link in here if you want to watch it, but did you guys see Alvin Kamara's first pitch when he threw one at Wrigley the other day? Did you see it?
Yes.
It's I don't know if it's 50 Cent bad.
Well, I don't think you can get worse than that, man.
50 Cent? No. Yeah, I don't think you can. 50 Cent's going to be probably forever the king. But Alvin Kamara threw one to the left so far, it was like to the other side of the batter's box. And not only that, but he bounced it like just short of the dirt. Like he didn't even make it to the dirt. It bounced that far and wide to the left. The funny thing is, like right after he threw it, he knew it right away, right? So if you haven't seen this video, go out and find it. It's pretty funny. But as soon as he throws it and the mascot like picks it up, Alvin Kamara asked for the ball back. He's like, no, hold on. I can't go out like that. So he asked for it back. He throws another one. Now, this one wasn't a great. It still wasn't a strike. And if a guy was left-handed, it would hit him. But it was at least within the reach of the mascot this time. And it was in the air. It didn't bounce 10
Should have
feet
done it
short
a
of the plate.
third time.
Yeah, I
Third
know.
time's the charm.
It kept getting better, right? So the funny thing is, I mean, that's already funny as it is. But the Saints tweeted out the video of his first pitch. But because it's his team and they're trying to protect their dude, they didn't show an angle that showed it bounce. They showed us angle from the side that only has Alvin Kamara in frame and not home plate where the ball's being thrown to. And so you just see him throw it and then it like cuts off. And so, forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Stephen Che? It's Cheah. Cheah?
Chia.
Anyway, Stephen, I'll just call him Stephen. Stephen C. How about that?
There it is, yeah.
Stephen C. of Barstool called him out and like quote tweeted him. And the Saints replied. And the Saints absolutely bodied him. So apparently, I didn't know the genesis of this, but I guess Stephen C was in sort of barstool competition where they were like wrestling each other, and there's video out there of him getting picked up and slammed onto his shoulder to the point like he messed up his AC joint in his shoulder. And so the Saints, when he made fun of the video, he like called the Saints out for clipping the video and not showing the ball bouncing. The Saints replied to him, like, okay, our bad. Here's the full video. And the video starts, and right before the ball gets to the point of bouncing, it cuts to the video of him getting slammed on his shoulder.
Nice. Well done.
Well, Saints. Yes.
You gotta love when social media teams kind of step outside the box and push the limit a little bit and fire back.
Yeah, that was so good. So well done to the Saints for absolutely bodying Stephen C. from Barstool. And shout out to Alvin Kamara for giving another shot.
Yeah.
Like most people just kind of take the L and like duck their head and like, walk off in shame after a bad first pitch. But he took the ball back. I mean, he could have thrown it even worse. Like he could have made himself even look worse. But he took the ball back. He threw another pitch, and it was better.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Alvin Kamara is still making millions of dollars playing football. So I don't think he cares that he can't throw the baseball.
No, probably. Well, he at least cared a little bit. Because he took another.
He had fun with it.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to some audio from Rich Rodriguez. Been around the college football game for a long time.
Surely has.
Gosh, how many colleges has he been with now? I don't know if I can.
West Virginia, Michigan. Where was he before Michigan?
I'm forgetting all the schools now, but he's currently at West Virginia, and we're going to play some audio here from what Rich Rodriguez promises to do if West Virginia goes out and wins a big game this year.
West Virginia is still West Virginia, which is a good thing.
They don't burn couches anymore.
Well, they don't. I heard there's a city ordinance against it.
Yeah.
But if we win a big game this year, my ass is burning the couch. I'm just telling you. I'm going to pay the fine ahead of time or something. I don't care.
That's right, Rich Rodriguez. You got the
West Virginia, Michigan, Arizona, Jacksonville State.
And now back to West Virginia. Okay. Yeah, so Rich Rodriguez, because we've all heard the jokes about burning couches in West Virginia, amongst other jokes about West Virginia.
I've burned a couch.
Have you?
Yeah.
In West Virginia?
No, here.
Okay, so you're just straight trash? You don't have the excuse of being in work. That was a bit aggressive. You're right, Johnny. All right, my bad. Let me take that back.
We in high school and a few years after high school, there was an area called the Field by some railroad tracks over there.
I know, yeah.
Kind of by Post Oak. And we would
railroad tracks and burning couches seems to fit.
We would have field parties, and I mean there would be a good amount of people, 150 people out there having a good time. But obviously, like in the winter months, it's cold, and so
burning couches
people would find abandoned couches, bring them to the field, and start a bonfire with couches.
Okay, so this is not like. Okay,
we're not burning couches to just burn couches.
No, I know. Yeah. That's what I'm asking. So this is like an actual field with grass. This is not like a parking lot or something.
No.
So there's fire hazard here.
No. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what the statute of limitations is on starting wildfires, and maybe it's the winter, so you'd be fine. I don't know the science on that. Yeah, that's interesting. So you identify with the Mountaineer fans then?
Well, No.
you
They're
don't want to claim them?
they're a different
They're a
different animal,
breed?
different breed out
Different
there.
breed for sure. Yeah.
No, I don't claim any relation to West Virginia
I
people.
just love that Rich Rod is going to embrace it because this feels like I don't know if he gets another big job with how it went in some of his other stops. Like, I mean, West Virginia it's Big 12, so I guess you could say, well, that is a big job, but it's it's third tier.
I mean,
It's
he didn't have a good stop at Michigan. His Arizona stats, he basically was like an average of like 7-6, and then Jacksonville State 2 back-to-back win 9 seasons. But that's obviously
that
not
helped, right. But I think this is Rich Rod like knowing like I might just ride this out in West Virginia. So let me embrace what we do in West Virginia. That's burn couches. So I'm hoping West Virginia gets a big win at home so they can burn some couches. All right, that'll do it for our leftover segment. Had a little fun there with Alvin Kamara and Rich Rodriguez. Oh, actually, quickly one more. Can we just mention one more thing because this involves Cam's
because I know you go for it.
Yeah, this involves Cam's team. What's going on with Najee Harris, bro? Why is
I
Najee Harris
did he not learn anything from JPP?
setting off fire? What was that? Play that again.
Do you remember when that kid in the well, I don't know.
Put it in
kid.
reverse,
Yeah.
Terry.
Oh,
He's sitting in the
And the guy's in the wheelchair, right?
Terry.
yeah. But in this case, it's put it in reverse, Najee.
Yeah, put it in reverse, Najee.
Um,
I never for the life of me, and one I'm kind of a hater when it comes to fireworks. Is I might be in the minority on this, but I've always felt like once you've seen one firework display, you've kind of seen them all, at least the big ones. Like I know a couple dudes popping them off in their backyard is different than the big spectacular ones
for sure.
put on by a city or whatever, or by a sports team. But like once I've seen the Friday night fireworks at Dyken Park once, I felt like there's nothing really different the next time. So I've never really cared that much about fireworks. So maybe I'm the wrong person to give this take, but I've never understood why athletes with millions of dollars on the line, especially one like Najee Harris is on a 1-year contract, and you're a running back that position's obviously been devalued, over the years. Why would you risk that for setting off a couple damn fireworks and having they're calling it superficial, but injuring your eye?
If I'm not mistaken, having your eyesight is pretty crucial.
Now,
to play the game of football.
Someone questioned when this actually happened because Najee hasn't had great ball carrier vision for years, right?
Oh.
Hi-yo.
Wow.
Okay, I know. That was the low hanging fruit. All right, we're gonna get out to
well,
break.
That's a slam on Pittsburgh.
On the other side of the break, we'll get more to our big questions, including who are the biggest Houston sports killers of all time. We also have another big question if we have time, but this one's stolen from a tweet from Paul Gallant. But who is on the Mount Rushmore? A little bit of a foreshadowing because the segment after that will be Mount Rushmore +1. But who is on the Mount Rushmore of figures who accidentally helped Houston sports teams? That and more when the bullpen returns. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back into the Bullpen. 3 more segments to go today. Back next week. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer here with you until 2 o'clock. Mount Rushmore +1 coming up at 1:30. And what we love from sports and the worst people in sports will close out the show, of course. But right now, finishing off our big question, which throughout the show, one of them has been, who are the biggest Houston sports killers of all time? Names brought up so far by us and by texters have included Steph Curry. Derrick Henry's come up multiple times. Astros medical staff has come up multiple times. Johnny mentioned, rightfully so, T.Y. Hilton and Adolis Garcia has come up. And I don't remember if you said this on the air or off the air, but you were speculating that one of my choices was going to be Albert Pujols, and I told you it was a different Cardinals teammate. Did we say that on the air or off the air?
No, I guess that. No, I think it was on air.
Yeah, it was on.
It was on air, but yes, Jim Edmonds.
I said, "Can I take a gander?"
Yes, that's right. And I said, "You may gander away."
Yes.
If you still have the stats up, because you read it to me during the break, but I believe I'm gonna take a stab at here with my memory. But I believe you said it like in 130 something games for Jim Edmonds against the Astros, which of course obviously less than a full season. He'd still have 20 plus games to go. But he was like 31 home runs and almost 90 RBI.
Correct. So in 136 games, he had 80 runs, 28 doubles, 31 home runs, 87 RBIs, and an OPS of 942.
What was his batting average?
283.
Man.
The only teams that he destroyed more was the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, yeah, I mean everybody's destroyed.
But that was the Pirates back then.
Yeah, exactly. Post Barry Bonds, the Pirates haven't done a whole lot. So, all worthy additions there. A few more from my list. Well, you mentioned Greg Maddux. Like I told you at the time, like I just had Braves pitching on my list.
Yeah, I mean you can't argue with that.
Also had Peyton Manning on my list.
See, I thought about that, but it kind of brought me back to like. Well, he kind of killed a lot of people.
He did, but I mean, the Texans went so long without ever getting a win against the Colts.
Because of Peyton.
Yeah, because of Peyton Manning. I mean, obviously the most notable amongst those was the Rosencopter game where they were led by, I think it was 17 with like 4.5 minutes to go, and they lost in part because Sage Rosenfels tried to dive. I can't remember if he tried to dive to avoid a tackle or to get a first down, but
to get a first down.
It was first down. He ends up getting spin around the air, fumbles, and
that
Texans lost that game.
That image will live rent free.
Yeah. That a future Mount Rushmore. The worst images that live in her head as Houston sports fan.
That could be a good
Rosencopter's in there. Pujols hitting the home run off the ledge up there. Well, something to think about for the future. Other names I had on my list: Kobe. I mean, you could maybe say Kobe was, that did it to everybody, but he had some big games. He did. He had some big games against the Rockets. Blast from the past a little bit. 1998, Kevin Brown. Remember that series in 98 of the Astros and the Padres? That was the Astros team with Randy Johnson that won 102 games. Their first year
Kevin
ever
Brown.
With 100+ wins. I mean, I think a lot of people thought they'd go into the World Series after getting Randy Johnson. And they ran into the Padres in round 1, got beat 3-1 in that best of 5, in part because of the way the schedule was spaced out. Kevin Brown, over the course of 4 games, got to pitch twice, and he murdered them.
Yeah.
So not fair, MLB. letting Kevin Brown face the Astros twice. Text coming in from 1642, Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne, certainly. Peyton Manning I had on my list, but I forgot about. Would you consider Reggie Wayne or Marvin Harrison amongst Colts receivers? Obviously not T.Y. Hilton. The guys that played with Peyton to be more of an Texans killer.
I want to say Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, I think so too.
Killed us more than Marvin Harrison.
That's my gut feeling without verifying it by looking at the stats. A few more on my list. We're about to get a call in here as well, but remember Randy Arozarena in 2020?
I sure do.
Oh my God! He had a Carlos Beltran postseason where he had 8+ home runs, and it feels like a lot of those came against the Astros. And what ended up being a 7-game series, the Rays got out to a 3-0 lead, and the Astros battled back to force a Game 7. But man, Randy Arozarena killed the Astros in 2020. All right, let's go out to the HRP listener line right now for David, who has his Houston sports killer. David, what do you got for us?
Well, how about Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas?
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time you used to boys to play against them, it seemed like Buffalo would knock them out when they couldn't ever get into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Thurman Thomas is a good one. Thank you for the call, David. The only problem with Jim Kelly is like the big moment for Astros Bills wasn't him because he was injured at the time. It was what's his name, Frank Reich. So like Jim Kelly, I mean the Bills were obviously amazing. They made 4 straight Super Bowls, so that did directly keep out the Oilers. But like the big moment for Oilers Bills, the 35-3 collapse, that was Frank Reich. It wasn't Jim Kelly.
Yeah, I can't say that I was there for that. So
I forgot who I'm talking to. What year were you born?
89.
Okay, well you were alive, but yeah, you don't have a vivid
Sure
memory.
We have to. It has to be somebody who did it consistently over a period of time, right? Because a couple names that pop into my head, like Damian Lillard hitting the game-winning shot against the Rockets.
Yeah, that was just really that
but that's
one
just
moment.
the one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's like I threw in Randy Arozarena for one series, so it's worth a mention.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him at the top, but it's certainly in there. Here's one moment because the Rockets overall handled the Jazz. I mean, they beat them in the Western Conference Finals. And on their way to their first title the next year when they went back-to-back, they beat them in the first round. So overall, the Rockets had obviously a lot of success against the Stockton Malone Jazz. But John Stockton, 1997, when Karl Malone bear hugs Clyde Drexler to get John Stockton open for like a shot that's like 5 feet behind the 3-point line. He nails it in Game 6 to as a buzzer beater to knock the Rockets out of the playoffs. Game 6 of the 97 Western Conference Finals. Everyone thought, here we go, Game 7, Rockets Jazz. The Rockets got a chance to get back to the finals, but nope. John Stockton hits a crazy buzzer beater. Jazz go into the finals and then lose to Michael Jordan. We almost nearly got the Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon NBA Finals, but Stockton robbed us of it.
You know who I have to look this up, but I feel like one of those Phoenix years where they had Stoudemire, Nash, and Sean Marion.
Yeah,
I feel like one of those
teams.
guys was a Houston killer. So I'm trying to look that up.
Well, they never faced in the playoffs.
Not the playoffs.
So that obviously knocks it down a step right away, IMO. But I mean, certainly it's in the conversation. I wouldn't put it at the very, very top though.
Okay, so yeah, Steve Nash did have a really good time against.
Okay, well, yeah, you got his numbers. What were they?
Yeah. So in 57 games, he shot 50% from the field, 47% from 3-point range.
47% from 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. And averaged 15 and 8 against the Rockets.
50, yeah, I mean, wait, only 8 assists? That's it? I mean, 8 assists is great, but for Nash, that feels like it's actually kind of low.
I mean, there are some other teams where he averaged like 9, but the points would be like lower and his percentages would be lower.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I could go down this list and find other teams that he killed.
He definitely didn't jump to the front of my mind.
I do remember that being a really exciting Phoenix team.
Oh yeah, that was the 7 seconds or less team.
Yeah,
that was. I mean, revolutionized basketball for a time.
Yeah, and Sean Marion just weird
shot, man. He had such a weird release. A couple more. Kind of taking a left turn with these that I had on my list. Bill O'Brien.
I'm dead.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
That's a good one.
I mean, come on, right? He murdered the Texans roster and sent him into a tailspin for like 3 seasons.
It's a great call.
It took him 3 seasons to climb out of that mess that he
It's funny
created
that the best and top 2 options are Houston's own
Astros medical staff and Bill O'Brien.
Yep.
Yeah. A couple more along that same line. Jeff Bagwell.
What?
Because
he brought in Abreu.
Well, yes. Hear me out.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Bagwell
both.
as his playing career.
Yes.
What?
Oh,
Hold on. Stay
with
with
the
me.
injuries?
No, not really. Stay with me though. So Cam, look while I'm laying this out, because you'll be able to get it quicker than I will. Look up Jeff Bagwell's postseason statistics on his baseball reference page.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with it. So it's 2-pronged. One,
No.
what you guys mentioned in the summer of Bagwell when he was de facto general manager alongside Reggie Jackson and Jim Crane when they thought they were too smart for the room. He was a part of a group that signed Rafael Montero to a ridiculous contract to resign or sign Jose Abreu and his advanced age to a ridiculous contract. They brought back Michael Brantley, told us he could play at the start of the season. He didn't debut till August. It was a terrible, terrible offseason that year that he was very much a part of. And then you factor in, obviously, Hall of Fame regular season player, but hit me with the postseason numbers, Cam, because he did a lot of tipping the cap to the Braves.
I don't know if I want to.
Say it. Come
Well,
on. It's my case.
All right.
It's my case.
In 9 series, he had 106 at bats, 24 hits. He had only 6 extra base hits, 4 doubles, and 2 home runs.
So what's the batting average?
He did have a good amount of walks, and his strikeouts weren't incredibly high. But
congratulations!
His batting average was 226 with an OPS of 685.
Thank you.
Still better than Aaron Judge.
good shot there, Johnny.
Yeah.
685 OPS.
Respect. Yeah.
It's pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Remember those splits I was talking about with Bryce Matthews home and road? Sounds kind of like Bryce Matthews at home.
See, he was really good in LCS, but it was always the NLDS, and then obviously the World Series with 9 at bats.
Well, the World Series I don't really fault him for because by that point his shoulder was gone.
Yeah, 2005. Yeah,
I don't fault him for that for 2005. It's really I fault him for 97, 98, 99, 2001. That's what I'm faulting him for.
Well, 2001 he actually hit 429.
Okay,
but
all right.
In 97
Respect.
he hit 083. Then well, hold on, we'll give him this. He got really good the next year and doubled it to .143.
Damn.
And then it grew the next year to 154.
So, 97, 98,
At
99.
least he improved every year.
Dreadful. Jeff Bagwell, at 97, 98, 99, he was Jose Abreu.
Hey, guess what, though?
Playoffs.
He only grounded into 2 total double plays his entire playoff career.
Like, again, Hall of Fame regular season player, but Jeff Bagwell, those numbers that you read are not that I think most Astros fans needed further evidence or further explanation why, but those numbers you read why are a great argument in the case of Jose Altuve is the best player in franchise history, not Jeff Bagwell.
Oh, for sure.
Like if anyone was like on the fence of that, like.
Well, I mean, honestly,
I thought the argument was between him and Biggio.
Yeah, I would have had him and Biggio as great.
Yeah, I mean Biggio. I mean they're both Hall of Famers, so you could split hairs there. But either way, I mean if you have any more for the biggest Houston sports killers, we're not gonna have time for the Mount Rushmore thing. We'll maybe save that for next week. But if you have any more Houston sports killers, feel free to text us in 713-780-3776. Looks like we have a couple more. Read those in our final segment. But next up, Mount Rushmore +1. Don't go anywhere. Welcome in, Houston, to the best part of your weekend. Welcome into Mount Rushmore Plus One, the groundbreaking, award-winning segment that forever changed the landscape of sports radio. It will land Cam, John, myself, along with Sean Mapes in the Texas Radio Hall of Fame in far less than the 27 years it took those bums John and Lance to get in. I think I'm just going to up the ante on this and make it more and more aggressive until John slaps me.
Oh, wait, which John?
Well, Granado, of course.
Okay, yeah.
No, not Belmer.
Yeah.
Why would Belmer slap? I told him he was going to get in. I told him he was going to get in. Why would he slap me? All right, so Mount Rushmore Plus One time. Cam, why don't you go ahead and lead us off, sir?
Oh, why? Thank you. All right. So mine is mine is based off of the recent blow up of Love Island. And
oh yeah, sure.
These reality shows.
Netflix, right?
Peacock.
Okay.
Peacock.
Okay.
But there seems to be like an increase of like bars and restaurants that will have nights to watch these. Oh yeah, like Little Woodrow's, McIntyre's, they have like Love Island nights. And it seems to be like
I would like
picking up.
Now I don't watch really any of these shows, but I would like if I were to want to go to a viewing party like this. I think my first concern is like, will I be able to hear it? Like,
yeah.
Okay, they blast the speakers pretty well. Like I can't
yeah.
imagine trying to hear it over the noise of a bar, like an active busy bar.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these places, like Little Woodrow's, has like the one on Shepherd has a big, like massive, like projector outside.
Okay.
So they definitely like, yeah, you can
hear it. Okay. Anyway, continue, sir.
So I did my most entertaining cringe reality shows.
I like it. Okay.
To start off, the classic Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Jersey Shore.
It was pretty trash.
It was. I'm not.
Was it a gym tan workout or gym tan
laundry?
Gym tan
GTL.
laundry.
Cavs are here. I stopped watching it after they became grown-ups and having kids because it's not nearly as
it doesn't
cringy
become as fun anymore.
No, especially when
now
half
they're
of them don't
affecting
drink
lives.
anymore. Yeah, I'm
now
just like,
they're
oh,
affecting
good for you,
lives.
you're responsible. Great.
You had a totally different reason than I was going. God. Okay, continue.
I'm sure everybody has heard this show. Cheaters.
Yes.
Cheaters was.
Oh yeah.
Was it CW or UPN or something?
Wait, it was. Well, it had to have been both because it was on for so long. It was UPN 20 and then CW 39.
I don't think I ever watched the full show, but I saw so many clips. Like the confrontation moments were unbelievable.
Oh yeah, and it was just great because Cheaters would always be like that show that was always like running 20 episodes like during the day.
Yeah,
so like if I was ever at home because I got in trouble at school or was like sick, that was my go-to. Yeah. The next one, and this only lasted a couple seasons. Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
That was a ridiculous.
That was a wild one.
Did he find love?
What was
the conclusion of the story? Okay, yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know.
That's probably accurate.
This one is one that a lot of people.
Now he's a guy that supports the Olympics. He's like completely rebranded himself.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. With the big old clock chain.
My uncle, who's a part of like the water polo thing for the last Olympics, took a picture of Flavor Flav.
That's great.
He's like 71 years old. He took a picture with Flavor Flav.
That's great.
Yeah,
should get that tattoo.
Flavor Flav might be 71 years old at this point.
He might be.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, he's definitely getting up there.
This next one, and this one, I'm sure not a lot of people know of. It's called Acapulco Shore.
No, what? So it's a spinoff of Jersey Shore?
I'm not sure it's a spinoff. It has similar
ripoff.
It has similar vibes of Jersey Shore, where it's a group of people that are staying with each other, but it's way more TVMA.
Oh, okay. Okay, so a little Jersey Shore After Dark.
It's Jersey Shore After Dark times 2.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, good call, Johnny.
They're getting down to like the business like the second day.
Oh, okay. I don't remember what show this was, but clips kept showing up on Barstool and on Twitter and other places. I don't know if it's this show, but I've seen clips of reality show. Hopefully I'm not stealing the next one you're about to say, but it kept showing this one guy who repeatedly had to sit around with like the other men in the group
while the girl was smashing in the room.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's this show.
Okay.
I just haven't got to that point.
It was like constantly updates. Like he had to watch his girlfriend have sex with another man for a third time.
Yeah.
Like what? Dude, leave.
That's what I'm saying, bro. What are we doing?
What are you
here?
still on the show for?
Yeah, we're going to get with somebody else.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, smash with his.
Yeah.
The dude that's smashing your girl, go smash his ex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would.
Be a man and go smash his ex.
Yeah. Fair's fair.
Yeah, and maybe toxic
masculinity,
whatever. I don't know.
And then obviously to round out this list, Love Island.
Yeah, Love Island. Love Island. Wasn't Megan the Stallion or
She
someone?
was on that. Yes, she was.
Yeah,
Yes, she was.
talented lady.
She knows how to. She knows how to work
Cam
her.
is befuddled.
She is curvaceous.
I think we had to go away from Cam right now, Johnny, because I think he is flustered right now when I brought up Megan the Stallion. Yeah. All right, Johnny, what is your Mount Rushmore
I couldn't take my
+1?
eyes off the screen.
All right. My Mount Rushmore +1 is inspired by something a little sportsy. So this last week, some guy named Kevin Keatsman, he's a radio host in Kansas City,
Okay.
went viral for calling Pat Mahomes fat and saying he was an embarrassment.
Yeah, that jabroni.
Yeah, the jabroni for sure. I mean, he's not the ripped or anything.
Mahomes is not built like a Greek god, but who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, he's
Right.
winning 3 Super Bowls. What do you?
Yeah,
what do you care?
Greek God making $50,000 a year or dad bod making $70 million a year. I think I'll go with the dad bod.
Yeah,
I think so too. But this sparked my imagination here because one of my favorite things about sports is fat people in sports. And I want to celebrate my people here, okay? So this is my Mount Rushmore +1 of my favorite fat athletes.
otherwise known
years.
as fatleets.
Fatleys.
Thank you.
Fatleys, yeah.
Thank you.
Number 5 is
Trademarks, copyrighted.
yeah,
Okay.
there you go. Number 5 is a local guy. I watched this guy hit a walk-off grand slam in Craig Biggio's 5,000 hit or 3,000 hit game. El Caballo, Carlos Lee.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going. Okay.
Where'd you think I was going?
Well, I don't want to say in case it's also on your list, so I'll save it.
Is he?
Carlos Lee was a little chunky.
He's just thick.
Carlos
Yeah,
Lee
he
was
was a little
chunky.
chunky.
He was chunky.
Yeah, he was a little chunky.
And these guys are, I mean, you're not going to make it if you're like sloppy
wasn't
fat.
a
So these
whale.
guys aren't going to be like
Yeah,
sloppy
He
fat.
wasn't a
but
whale, but he was chunky.
he's definitely bigger. Yeah. I don't think that guy is going to be on this list, B-Mac. Who are you thinking of?
Daryl Ward.
Oh, that's another good one. I
Yeah,
had an autograph,
Daryl Ward he was thick with 2 C's.
He could launch
Yeah.
it over
Yeah.
over Sanford in the what was it called back then? Candlestick.
Yeah. Back in the day. Yeah.
he was
Candlestick Park in
launching
San
him over
Francisco.
into
Yeah.
the bay.
Oh, yeah, he was another one. I didn't think of him. I had a Daryl Ward autographed glove I played with for a long time. Number 4 on my list is the bus, Jerome Bettis.
Nice. Yeah.
He was always fun. We used
For
to,
sure.
waiting on the bus in the morning, they used to always hand me the ball because I was the biggest kid and say, Jerome Bettis run, when we're playing like street football. So number 3, one of my favorite caricatures of all time. I look
Sure.
at him as almost like a cartoon character. Bartolo Colon.
Oh,
Right.
yes. Yeah, well done. Bartolo
I
Colon.
mean, hitting home runs. And
That home
throwing-
run he hit, I think he hit it in San Diego as a
Mhm.
member of the Mets, I want to say, but the
Yeah.
place went nuts. Yeah, Bartolo Colon is a fan favorite for all
Fan
all
favorite
time.
for everybody. He's an obvious one. The next one's not so obvious, more for me. Derek Lewis, UFC.
Oh, sure. Houston
local
guy.
Houston guy. He's actually fighting tonight on the main card.
Oh, is he?
Wow,
But
this
check it
is-
out. Famous for his quote after one of the fights. They asked him why he took his cup off. He said, because his balls was hot.
Yeah.
That was when I knew I was a Derek
Yeah.
Lewis fan.
I
It
mean,
happens.
hey,
It happens.
if that happens, what do? You take the cup off.
I have 2 people in my head that I think might actually not make this list.
I
wow.
gave
Yeah.
John.
There's
John,
a ton of them that
John gave me or asked me for. I didn't realize this is what it was for, but I think the names I gave him might not make the list.
No, the names you gave me didn't.
Okay,
But there's
all right.
plenty of other ones I had here as looking into this. But number 1 is one of my favorite Texans players of all time. There's an iconic moment of him showing up in overalls
Oh,
at
yeah.
the training camp.
Yeah,
Vince
yeah, yeah.
Wilfork, Big Vince.
Wilfork, yeah.
That's my favorite fat guy in
That-
sports.
he
So
was a
I
large
wonder-
specimen.
He would, man, that clip from Hard Knocks when he showed up in the overall standing behind Bill O'Brien, like the looks Bill
And he was,
O'Brien had.
didn't they go eat barbecue that day too?
Yeah, well, they definitely went to
Yeah.
Killins, him and Watt and maybe someone else, but yeah. But a couple of names that came to mind right away. These are the names John I mentioned to John when he asked me, but the 2 that came to mind for me, Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty guy, played
From
quarterback
Kentucky,
at Kentucky.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he actually played. I don't know how much he played, but he was on an NFL roster for a little bit. And the other one that came to mind, even though I'm a Longhorns fan, remember Jaworski Lane, the running back for A&M?
That was with Mike Goodson. That was the Aggie days of Lightning and Thunder.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Jaworski Lane, I don't know if he was 300, but he He was damn close. He
It-
was a big dude.
I used to play with when I played NCAA football, I would
Sure.
play with A&M just because they had Mike Goodson, Jaworski Lane, and then oh my God, he's the quarterbacks coach with the Texans now.
Oh, Draw Johnson.
Gerard Johnson. We're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
on the same team, and that offense on that game was psychotic.
All right, I'll quickly get through my
Butterbean.
Butterbean, yes.
That's,
He
that's
was
the
on
first
mine,
thing that came
maybe.
to mind.
Yeah.
Butterbean for sure. I mean, yeah, it's in the name. Like that was
Literally,
that was
yeah.
the brand. That
One hit
that was-
connection, and you're dead.
yeah, especially if you put him in a we don't have time for this, but WWE once held like a for real boxing tournament with their wrestlers where the winner got to face Butterbean at WrestleMania.
Got to face, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, guess what happened when they faced Butterbean? Butterbean kicked his ass. Anyway,
yeah.
We'll move on. My Mount Rushmore +1. Go find the video of this if you haven't seen it. But have you guys seen the video of that dude on the golf course who was taking too long, got beat up by Nick Tarnasky? Hopefully I'm pronouncing the last name right.
Dang it.
Tarnasky, the former NHL enforcer, just whipped his ass, threw him in a lake at one point, or a pond, whatever. But so my Mount Rushmore +1 is inspired by that. Guys, I don't want to accidentally fight. Like, I don't think that guy knew when he decided to be a tough guy because he had the high ground. He was yelling back at this former NHL enforcer. He probably didn't know the dude was a former NHL enforcer, because why would you pick the fight unless, I guess, maybe you're plastered with a guy like that? So these are people that I would not want to pick a fight with, not knowing who they were.
This is a good one.
First one, a stunt double who's worked for Jason Statham. Like, I feel like that dude can go. Not only is he having to do the fights, he's having to do the falls. Like, he could take a hit, he could take a beating. Like, even if I get one on him, like if I land a couple punches, he's gonna get back up. Like, that dude whips my ass. Next one on the list. I don't want to mistake who Adrian Peterson is at a poker table and then start a altercation, because we've seen the video. Adrian Peterson will throw down at a poker table.
Yeah,
and he's already like a freakish athlete to begin with. Like, hopefully I'll recognize what Adrian Peterson looks like, but the rare chance that I don't, I want to avoid a fight with Adrian Peterson. This one's for Johnny, and maybe a rabbit hole he can go down afterwards. But I wouldn't want to fight a wrestler who was just told that what he does is fake. Because there are video, go down the rabbit hole and find the videos of reporters who try to be tough guys and like, hey, what you do is fake. And the wrestlers who beat the living bleep out of them live on TV in some cases. So
They're still really strong, large.
I'm not debate. Well,
yeah, I guess.
We'll have that debate off there. But it's scripted, not fake. Anyway, so the last two of my Mount Rushmore +1 of guys who I don't want to accidentally fight with. Obviously, hockey enforcers, they're the reason for the season for this list. And the last one, middle linebackers who specifically wore the neck roll.
Oh,
like, if you're a neck roll middle linebacker, you're a bad mother. End of sentence. Yeah. I want no part of that guy, even if he's like in his 50s or 60s.
Somebody that I want no part of, but I don't think it would ever happen because apparently he's such a nice, genuine guy, is Keanu Reeves. Because Keanu Reeves does his own.
Well, he can't, if I fight him, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna hold up the little suit jacket to block bullets like he does?
No, but he does his own training. Like, have you seen his training and his shooting videos?
Yeah.
Like, that dude is like, again, I don't think it would ever happen because.
So you think Keanu could take you?
I think Keanu Reeves could kick my he could kick my ass.
All right,
you kidding me?
Okay, all right. Okay. Maybe you come up with your own list for the next one, because I'm sure there's a few more people that we could throw into this. But we're overdue for a break here. We got to get
I'm
out.
a lover, not a fighter.
Finish up on the other side of this break with the worst people in sports this week and what we love from sports this week. That when the Bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back into the Bullpen final segment for today. We will be back next week. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you here for roughly another 7 minutes as we wrap it up here on this Saturday afternoon with what we loved in sports this week. And before that, the worst people in sports this week. But before both of those things, a few more submissions we received from the text line on the biggest Houston sports killers of all time from 7470, going in the direction I did with naming like Bill O'Brien and Jeff Bagwell. He texted in, Kelvin Cato was a Rockets killer, signed Chris Anumble. Kelvin Cato.
Another implosion.
Yeah, that I don't know if you remember the I guess the origin story of Kelvin Cato, but he got a triple-double in the preseason. And for some reason, the Rockets just freaked out and thought they had, the next superstar and signed him to what was at the time a massive contract. And yeah, he didn't live up to that. From 2239, he mentions a couple that we've talked about, but Steph Curry knocked the Rockets out of the playoffs in 4 out of 5 years. That's not a good time. And then Peyton Manning, the Texans didn't win in Indy until I think he left. I don't think the Texans' first win in Indianapolis, I believe, was with Tom Savage starting a quarterback, and Peyton Manning was long gone by then.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't think I remember the first win the Texans had against a Peyton Manning team, and that was at home. That was a Ron Dane game. Ron Dane came up last week for the biggest one-hit wonders. But that game was in Houston. The first win in Indy, I'm pretty sure Peyton was gone. I don't think the Texans ever beat Peyton in Indy. And one more from 9176, go in the direction again of kind of on the Houston side of this, but he texted in Matt Schaub's plantar fasciitis would have won the Super Bowl possibly that year. I don't know. I think they would have. I kind of do think they would have gotten to the Super Bowl. Well, they definitely would have beat the Ravens, I think, because they damn near did, even with Jacoby. Why am I blanking his last name?
Jacoby Jones.
R.I.P.
Yeah, even with Jacoby Jones' fumble and the 3 interceptions thrown by T.J. Yates, they still almost beat the Ravens on the road.
So does that mean we have to put Chris Paul's hamstring in there too?
Oh yeah, good call.
Well, hell, we might as well throw in Rockets 3-point shooting.
Yeah. God. Yeah. Well, let's add another one. Rafael Montero.
Oh, what?
Now, see the thing with man, you're having some issues there.
Yeah.
I think Paul does a live endorsement for Rise Health. I might be able to help.
Well, hell,
with that.
let's put in glass sliding bathroom doors.
Oh, for 100 pence. For 100 pence. Yeah, it's a good one. The Montero one's a little tougher because he was so great in 2022. And then he was so bad every other time in his career outside of 2022.
Massage tables.
Oh, yeah. Massage tables.
They got those Ravens too.
Well, massages twofold. One, Deshaun Watson, even though I think that turned out in our favor.
Yes.
And then 2, remember Carlos Correa broke his rib or something he was getting a massage?
Yeah,
The story in that was weird. I'm not sure. I think his girlfriend or fiance was involved in something. I don't know. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there and get into our worst people in sports this week and what we love from sports this week. My worst person in sports is the Pac-12 or the remnants thereof adding Texas State, the Bobcats, to the Pac-12. This whole college football expansion thing maybe this is me having a boomer take, but I can't stand it. It's one thing when Texas and Oklahoma go to the SEC because you're in basically the geographic footprint kind of already, especially after A&M joined them. But when you have Stanford and or UCLA and USC having to travel to Rutgers for a conference game because they're both in the Big Ten, or you have is it Stanford that joined the ACC? Or there was I know there's a West Coast school that joined the ACC.
It is damn near impossible to keep up with
Texas State in the Pacific Conference?
None of these alignments make sense.
I hate it. Anyway, what's your worst person in sports?
My worst person is the WNBA voters who decided to make Caitlin Clark the 9th best guard in the WNBA, despite her getting the most WNBA votes and named team captain. Just does not make sense how Caitlin Clark is the 9th ranked guard.
It is very weird how there's a faction inside the WNBA that hates her, even though she's the reason almost by herself for their massive popularity spike. Anyway, We're done with the Anger Sharks. We got to wrap it up here quickly and talk about what we love from sports this week after we go ahead and doggy paddle over to Sea Tranquility. What I love from sports this week, you guys see the videos of how the Yankees were relaying pitches when they picked up a
Yes.
they picked up that
not.
Mariners closer Andres Munoz was tipping pitches. They started like literally doing like jumping jacks at second base to communicate to the batter what was coming, and it worked. They ended up coming back and winning the game. Just an absolutely amazing moment with dudes out there doing jumping jacks to tell the batter what was coming from Mariners. It happened to the Mariners, so that makes it even better.
I was going to say, the only time I appreciate the Yankees doing something
Yeah,
like that,
it's
'cause
to the
against
Mariners. Yeah. I would have also accepted the Rangers. Anyway, you're what do you love from sports this week?
What I love from sports was your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
The hockey enforcers throwing the guy into the water. I watched that video like 10 times, and then it led me to having to watch Happy Gilmore.
Oh
because
yeah,
I had to see a similar
the
fight.
punches he was thrown looked very similar to how Bob Barker punched
And Adam
Gilmore.
Sandler,
Yeah,
yeah.
Adam Sandler. All right, that'll do it for the Bullpen this week. Thank you so much for joining in, sending your submissions for the biggest Houston sports killers. We'll be back next week. For Cam Smith, for John Belmer, I'm Brian McDonald. Have a great weekend, Houston.
If we win a big game this year, my ass is burning the couch. I'm just telling you. I'm going to pay the fine ahead of time or something. I don't care.